Okay, let's review what I'm going for. This is where I'm headed. So as is my custom, I like to work with the biggest elements of the page first and the backmost elements of the page first. So I've already put on the gradient, the big backgrounds, the gradient going sideways, the header and the footer image. I think I kind of have two things I could do right now, but I think that they're both related. I need to squeeze this text down to fit on top of the background image, and then it looks like these fish are incorporated into not the heading, not the paragraph, but some kind of container around both the heading and the paragraph. So what I'm guessing is that each one of these pairs of an H2 tag followed by P is wrapped up in a div. So I've got some multiple divs happening here. What I'd like to do is put all of my text content in one div, maybe as a general container, and use that container as the sort of master for the overall width of this content. And then I'll work on the interior with these different images on those, so maybe some interior divs. Okay, so here I've got, first thing I need is some kind of container item. Put that here. And it right inside the body. And then I am going to style that with the width that it is. I can ballpark. So it's about 145 pixels over from the left. It ends at about 600 over. So 600, 500, it's a little bit bigger than 400. Let's say it's 450 wide or something. 450 to 460 wide, something like that. I'll call it 450 because that's nice and round. So let me do that. Set the width and then set this margin on the left. And so actually, let me go back to where I was here, saying I'm just mousing over in brackets and looking at the X and Y numbers. Actually, in this case, I'm looking only at the X number to determine how far away roughly it is before I get to the edge of this text, and that's how I came out with, looks like about 150 pixels actually, which is nice and round. 150 pixels of margin on the left-hand side, and then this is like 600, say. So it's about 450 wide and 150 over from the left. Hopefully I did that math in my head correctly. Here's my container rule. Width 450px. Margin left. This could also be padding, it doesn't matter in this case. We wouldn't be able to tell which. And refresh. Okay, that's looking pretty good. That is about the width I was thinking. So now that I have this sort of in hand, it's time to move this way down. How far down and what is it? Well, it's probably the container again. Should we use margin or padding? It honestly doesn't matter at all. We won't be able to tell the difference. And by how much, I can go back to the, whoops, wrong button. I can go back to the, to this and eyeball it. So looking at the Y coordinate change, it's about 225 down from the top. So let's say margin top is 225px. Save. Yeah, it's looking good. Need to fix the text color. And then how much up from the bottom here? How big is that image? We'll find out in a minute. Looking at the final result, the whole thing is, let's say 2030-ish. This is at about 1770. I don't think I can do this while I'm videoing. 2030, 1770. Doing some quick subtraction here, not in my head because I can't multitask when I'm making videos. That is about 9 minus 7 is 260-ish, 250, 260 up from the bottom. So let's add that. In this case, because I started using margin, I'm just going to keep using margin to try to be consistent. That's better. Oh yeah, see the gradient starting to even itself out. That's actually not enough. So my eyeballing was not sufficient. But it looks like I need to move up maybe another 100 pixels. 360. I probably just did my math wrong when I was doing it out quickly. Better. Where was it in the mock-up? I feel like it looked different. Oh, I guess that's about right where it was. Okay. Oh, even in the mock-up I can see it didn't match up the gradient quite right, but it's close. Okay, I'm going to sort out the gradient color at the bottom in a minute because, and make sure that I lay it out for you before I post this. So far, so good. And the next one will clean up some of the text color and add some fish